Well, hello, everybody. It's like here that to talk to you about is like your Mario tools, which most of us feel familiar with it's like with the game. It's like Mario Paint, and then of course a few other games that are sponsored, say by Nintendo, the Nintendo companies it is. But basically, is what I'm working on right here. Of course, is a coloring based on the fact about Mario, and it's like it could be maybe Mario Brothers, but of course, the activity I'm working on here is basically talking about with tools, and I'm sure that most of us have maybe owned or worked with or maybe heard of there's certain tools. It is a few of them that yeah, I'm not going to write them all down because it's like knowing about it's like the amount of time that I have to talk about it also, but of course one of them, of course, that I heard about, of course, in tech school, of course, one of them was the T square, and then of course with the you see the wrench is like with the you get the wrench, and then along with the Phillips head is like the mini say screwdriver, and then along with the I guess there could be like a trimmer or anything like that, but basically talking about with say with hand tools with most, I guess with most, if it's fathers or if it's uncles or whoever, would more likely that they would have like a tool set around, in the garage or anywhere around the house that would normally that would keep a toolkit around, and a lot of times with most fathers, or it could be with most men it is, or maybe with most ladies that they would have like some type of toolkit around the house, and of course keep it in a safe place, of course away from kids and stuff, but about with tools that you would have a toolkit around, and then have it to where that it will be there in case if something were to break. And a lot of times that if you were going to be building something, a lot of guys, if in their spare time, in their hobbies, if it was somebody were like what would you call an experienced carpenter, or it could be maybe a plumber, or maybe just a normal house repairs. I know with if there's a light fixture or whatever that needs work, that then if you had the right tools, just to do it. But I know I got tools around here, of course, but of course most of those are just maybe for mainly for like a normal house appliances it is. But talk about with tools is that you got right here is with the tools, and that of course it could be the tools on related to the computer, the normal stuff that you would think about that would help you, that you would be able to fix things, and of course that you could probably think about is that you try to fix whatever you can fix. But talk about with tools is that right here, as you got right here, is the Mario. Mario is like on the car it is, but basically talking about with tools is that with Mario that with on Mario tools, and knowing about the fact about building something, and of course it could be a car like that. It's like you got the character right here. You got the character, which I guess you kind of give it a name if it's a Leno, or that it's like there's I would probably say that there's at least maybe 130 of the Mario characters that you have right here, which I guess I can go and give a good example. Is like one of the Mario characters which I've seen advertised. I remember whenever I used to play the games a lot of times, is that the games on the Nintendo console, and then of course it could be the GameCube console, of course. I don't have a Wii, but basically it's like on the game consoles it is that a lot of times that you would see these characters, which I remember say playing Mario Paint with the on Mario Paint, that you have like a character kind of like this. And in the game, I remember in the game, for original Nintendo, go ding 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 ding, and then it goes by on Mario Paint like a ding 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 ding, and then right here you got with right there is the coloring, and then of course is the character right there is like for Mario Paint. Mario would pop up and then it would come up, say like a mushroom it is. So you describe it kind of like a little mushroom type character right there. But basically talk about with Mario right here is basically is like with the character is that you have him on a car, and then of course knowing about is like how well the car is built is to to help it where knowing about how it's built, just to know about study about how it runs and stuff. It's like it could be a kart or say a race car it is. But anyway, that you have with these different colorings right here, but then of course with Mario tools is basically is that this activity you're talking about right here is talking about is the study about is like the different tools, the different tools available. It's like for what they let you do is like if you wanted to fix something such as a Phillips head screwdriver, flathead, or something like that. But I remember not in maybe a little bit in shop, but I remember in tech school, in tech class one time that that I remember that it was like a measuring tape, kind of like this right here, to where that they would have you say do these different problems. It was, and I can remember that whenever I signed up for the class, I remember that I was like I want to learn how to use measure wood and stuff like that. If I remember, I wanted to learn how to build something. And I guess we could say that any classes that you take, if it's either in college or if it's in what you call some type of university, or if it's maybe middle school or high school or whatever, that classes that you would normally take, that you would think that it's like that the classes that you take, it's all about really about what you want to learn and how you want to learn it. But I guess that, each course classes that they have their own ways of teaching you different stuff related to if it's sewing, or if it's cooking, or if it's wood shop, or maybe welding classes. I remember heard about it's like the classes that people take have anything to do with welding, or maybe working with what you call building say those type of classes where it's like technical classes where you're working with the plugs and the wirings and stuff like that, or it could be auto mechanics it is. But basically talk about with tools is that with the type of tools that you have available is talking about where you have the different toolkits, and I'm sure that most guys are probably familiar with it. It's like with the types of tools other than say measuring stick, and one of them of course is like that is the level meter. And I tell you one thing that I've never really got, I never was tested on these before, but the way I guess with the way most of them work would be is that you would use it. It would have like these two different levels right here. Is that knowing about the level if you were to position it on an object, and then there would be like what you call a line of liquid right here, a fluid on each end, and then it would change positions if it were level or if it was uneven or something like that. But you got the level meter, and then along with these other tools. But on the other hand too, we could probably think about is that is knowing about our study, is that knowing about how they do. And I remember whenever I was in tech class, it was shop class, that they would have you do like a problem on the board, on the school board. It was kind of like that, where they would come with different numbers and stuff. It would come with different numbers, and then it would come with you would what you would do is you would it would be like a problem that you would need to solve, for what's this measured by, and then of course about the length and width and measurements and stuff like that. And then they would have a tech class inside this classroom where you would study about the different tools and stuff before they would actually bring you into the shop area. The shop area was more exciting compared to what you call is like getting advanced with knowing about the different buttons and different tools, what they do with devices and stuff like that with the measuring. But then on the other hand too, that we could probably think about, no matter if it's the colors that maybe we don't really understand, or if it's the measuring or the stencil arts or whatever you call it, knowing about, it's like really that knowing about is like, try to try to put a few try to drill a few holes inside the square right here, or try to fit a certain octagon or whatever you call it in this box right here, and it count is like for 3 taps, and then it should it should go through or something like that. It's like you got right there is you get the with the box, and then of course that box could be, it's like maybe give it a nickname, give it a nickname as the Kwanzaa, the Kwansu or something like that. Something that looks like a box, but I guess it's really transferred in the 3 different sizes and shapes and stuff like that. But other than that, knowing about, I guess what most education goes is that with most teachers it is knowing about, is like no far is teaching that the basic skills about using tools, and in a lot of ways, that the way I think about is that with most parents and teachers it is knowing about, thing about is like we all have talents, and one of those talents of course is knowing about really about what you're doing before you actually perform an actual project, but knowing about basic skills about knowing about measuring, and then of course knowing about what you have your mind set up for, so far as was being creative, and of course with meaning of tools that we may not know what they're called, but I guess as long as we know what they do and maybe the whole purpose to why we have them. And of course other than that, it's like with Mario is knowing about, it's like if we were to do it like a type of game, it is not really a competition, but knowing about, it's like really about who could build the best flying model airplane. As to say, in a whole class, it is a competition of 5 people. It is knowing about, it's like you have good wingspan, and of course with good landing gears it is. But other than that, it's like with Mario tools is knowing about what tools that you have, knowing about what you can fix, and knowing about, it's like types of cars, you say trucks, or what you say that is you can drive, knowing about is that the thing about it is like go by is like what you call is the teamwork, knowing about studying, and about really about what each of us can do. But other than that is that right here is for Mario Tools and Mario Tools Coloring.